Hello friends, we are on Saddle Road in Marval in Trinidad, an island in the Caribbean. Trinidad is the southernmost island within the Caribbean and is part of a country that's known as Trinidad and Tobago. We are proceeding north and we are going to visit a place called Hailand Park and MOKA. Hailand Park is on one side, MOKA is on the other side. And this is one way to get there, this road, Saddle Road. Now when I was a kid, all of here was green. There wasn't so many places, so many buildings, and that red building to the center of your screen, I believe, used to be a, what was it? The one on your left, I'm not sure. Somewhere along here, used to be a two-story antiques place. Used to sell a lot of old stuff, a lot of antiques. My mother used to sell and collect antiques, so I used to be here often when I was a child, and all here was green. It wasn't so built up. The houses in Hailand Park, which you're now going to see on your left, this is more or less the beginning of Hailand Park on your left. They were always here. The part on your right, no. Those towers, no. Those townhouses weren't there either. Now you might be wondering why I don't take the left street there and begin looking at Hailand Park. Well, the thing is, like most of the places here in Trinidad, they have been gated, meaning that they have been blocked off and a security guard is posted on the street. So not all streets are public anymore. Some of them are private. In the case of those streets on your left, those are private. And this is the main part of Hailand Park that we're going through right now. These streets are public, so you'll be able to see a lot of the houses, the parks, and so forth. There's a golf course in the area as well. Now you'll notice if you have seen my other videos about Trinidad, there's always quite a variety of looks, structures, sizes, and so forth of houses and housing in general. Many places abroad, if you have lived abroad or been abroad, you will see that many people will try to more or less keep the same standard or look as their neighbor. Not saying that it's exactly the same, but it has that general look for our community. But in Trinidad, everybody sort of puts up what they like, not really considering what their neighbor has. So you will see a variety of houses here as we drive along this road, and some of it will be fancy, some of it not so fancy. Some of it may even look like it doesn't belong there. But that's how Trinidad is. There's always a mixture. By the way, we, unlike other parts abroad, we build largely with concrete, steel, cement, gravel, and sand. Sometimes our columns are built with concrete, other times with metal, but they are tough. They can take some pounding from storms, earthquakes, and so forth. Sometimes the roofs are built not too well. Sometimes the low gable roofs have too much of an extension or overlap, which causes wind to blow them off. It's part of the style that people like here in order to give shade to the house, but at the same time the wind goes under there and can blow off the roof. Now you can see where normally years ago I could keep on driving, but you see how it's gated off, right? So what once was a public access road is no more. It's limited, so I can't go up there to show you what it's like. And a lot of parts of Hailand Park here is like that. Now Hailand Park is supposed to be what you would consider to be one of the more well-to-do areas, but As I said to you, if you look on your right, it's not all that well to do. So there are patches of well to do, not so well to do, and so forth. Land ownership here is always a bit of a controversy, however you like to say it. Um, somebody might be living in the area, may have ancestry rights, an inheritance, or whatever, and may not feel like building it up. Or it may be the situation where it's simply in the courts. And once anything goes in the courts in Trinidad, it takes years and years and years and years. And the judgment mightn't be in your favor or what you may think be logical for an area. So we continue on. There's a lot of underdeveloped, a lot of the land is underdeveloped, and a lot of the houses are either being renovated or newly built. A lot of them are taking on this modern look, which personally I love. I know a lot of people in Trinidad like to maintain the old colloquial look. The British had a way of using um, fancy carvings, wood carvings in their houses, spires and different things. And yeah, they look nice. I would use it if I had a guest house or away from a getaway house, as it were, like a beach house. But for my personal house, if I had the opportunity and I wish, it would definitely be modern. So as you see, a lot of these roads are more or less short dead end roads. Not much to see. Sometimes I will look like I just look closely on the right. That road ends very soon. I will peer down this road and see if it ends too soon. If it does, well then I won't bother. If I think you might have something to see, well then I'll take a look. Just so you can see what it's like. You can see where everybody takes pride in maintaining their houses around here. Now if you hear a rooster in the background, faint sound of a rooster, no, I don't have roosters. But I have a neighbor who believes that chickens should be pets. Yeah, I know. Never would have a chicken as a pet for that very reason, the noise. And oddly enough, even in this area, you will see chickens roaming around, whereas you wouldn't expect that. So sometimes you will get an open lot of land like that on the left, and you may think, a nice house could go up there. Those lots or 4 lots or acre of land, those will go for millions. These areas, houses here are $1 million houses, multi-million-dollar houses, I should say. See, there you go, chickens. That one chicken, like it didn't want to move. By the way, if you know JV's man cave, I'm vegan, so I do not believe in any harm to animals. I don't eat any animals. Nor do I use any animal products. And as you may say, well, do you keep pets? No, I don't keep pets. If I did have an animal, it would probably be a dog or a cat, but they would roam. They would have to roam free. I wouldn't put them in a kennel or chain them up or anything like that. I feel really sad for animals that are kept like that by their owners, boxed up in a little 3x3 something all day, or just chained up. I know animals are meant to be free, just like you like to be free. You wouldn't want to be chained up all day, right? Some of these areas have really nice vegetation. You know, like on the right there. It just looks nice. Well kept. When I say well kept, I mean they're doing something with it. One thing you probably notice with Caribbean houses too is the use of colors. You know, some people have all blue and all beige and all pink and all red and all yellow and all white. That's just how it is here locally. You know, we are in the Caribbean, so people love colors. My particular preference, I don't know about you, could tell me yours in the comments area. My particular preference is always, you know, bland or pastel colors, but nothing loud. You know, a beige, a gray, a white, an off-white at that. Nothing loud. And some of the houses here are really nice. I like the looks. I like the modern looks. You can see some thought went into it. Hey, and there comes the welcoming committee. Looks hungry. And folks, you can notice how clean everything is. No trash around. You know, the people in the area are taking care of their area. That's how every area should be, regardless of your wealth. Just because, you know, your situation bad or you don't have a lot of money or you're not well to do, that have nothing to do with how your area is kept. It could be just as clean. There's some, you know, in society sometimes they associate being poor with being dirty or unclean. It really doesn't have to be. It's just about a certain amount of pride for your area, man. Just, you know, keep the area clean, throw your stuff in the trash where it belongs. Although I know some people will argue with me and say, you know what, we do keep our stuff, our trash in the right place, but the garbage truck will only go, as they like to say here, to the rich people's area, and they will pick up all the trash there, but they won't come to our areas often. And you know what, I really can't argue with them for that, because I have seen that. If you saw my video where I went into the Diego Martin area in the Patron village area, Blue Basin and so forth, did you see that video? Remember how much streets we were passing and almost every street had just a lot of trash piled up on it? That was quite a shame, and nobody was able to tell me why that was, at least not in the comments area. So as we cross this bridge, I don't know if it's official or not, but we're more or less in an area called MOKA, and that mountain side on the right there, you would actually take that road on your way to go to Maracas. That's South Road. However, we continue on this road to continue looking at this area. Some nicely built gates and doors. How do you like that for an outside door? One thing I miss that I don't see a lot of people doing here is having a gothic or medieval look for their house. Similar to how Stallmeyer's castle is. Everybody, like I said, has their own design, their own look, but I never see anybody really attempting a medieval look. I don't know if they think it would stand out too much or people here are just not familiar with that look, but that would be awesome. If I had the kind of money to do that, I would definitely build a house like a literal castle. Something like Stormire's castle. The golf course is on your left. Don't worry, we will look at it later. We're just continuing down all these streets to see if we can pick up all the houses. You can see a mixture of modern. You can see this house is not finished yet, but you can already see where it's going to have that modern look to it. If it is even going to be a house, I'm not sure. This house looks stately, almost like a mansion, but smaller. The lighting fixtures, the wall, all of that. Very interesting. Doing a lot of building up in the area. Some of you will write to me and ask me about best areas to live and how much it costs and all that. Well, as I take these road trips, you can look. And you can actually tell where there are open lots. That doesn't necessarily mean those open lots are available if you're planning to build. But it gives you a chance, maybe, who knows. That's the golf course on your right. And it's huge. Goes on the right and also goes on the left further up. All of this is MOKA. Has a mixture of houses here. Some really nice, some so. We use class as a determination. So some would say low class, high class, middle class. To basically describe things. So this is like a mixture of high and middle class housing, or even a mixture of both. Certainly I can't afford this area. And if it weren't for these driving videos, I would not even come up here. So just like this may be new for you, it's also new for me. But I like using these public access roads to see what areas look like, how people have built their houses. And as these videos stand for years to come, you can also see the progress of communities and how everything has changed. I like the stonework on those columns of that gate, that wall, stone wall. And I like the fact that this particular area has so much green. It doesn't have to be concrete house upon concrete house. It's okay to have green. I just like that. Now, look at what's going to happen here to show you that I can't afford to live up here. As I take this road, I'm going to drive up, see what this side of the road has. This side of it has an unusual amount of green. And then denied. See, JB can't afford that. I have to go back to my area. It's a bit hard for me to turn around there. So no, that's not public access. So we turn around. But it's interesting that this particular drive has its own routes. It's green. A community up there that's blocked off, which is very much understandable in a place like Trinidad, where crime is high. They want to be protective of their places and so forth. I like when people use coconut trees as part of their landscape. Keep the Caribbean look. For sure, if I had, a property big enough to have trees, I would use coconut trees. I mean, what is it to be in the Caribbean and you don't have coconut trees? Or even palm trees? Well, coconut trees are more useful in my opinion than palms. So this is the St. Andrews Golf Course, the entrance. We can't go all the way because it is of course a private members club. But I'll take you as far as possible. A lot of this I showed in a video sometime back called Where Am I? And those condos, apartments, whatever, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a spine of structures on the left there. I was featuring it in that video and asking people to guess where I am. Well, this is where it is located. The golf course is on your right, and like I said, it extends over the road to the other side too. But this side is more or less cordoned off, and where you see that guard booth, that's where I am going to be turning around. You can see the guard approach, thinks I'm coming in, but I told him no, I'm just turning around. So he goes back. I like the use of the bamboo as a barrier. I think it's a good idea. A lot of people here use bamboo for mountainside homes because bamboo is very good at retaining earth. So they use it on the side of the hills or mountains to retain the earth. But it also offers a good barrier, shade, give privacy too. But they do make a lot of noise when the wind blows and stuff, so I don't know, and they can get quite big. So I don't know if a private, somebody with a private house would want to use bamboo. But it's a good idea in this case where, it's a golf course, there's a lot of land. You don't need the golf ball come flying at you from this angle, so those bamboo trees would give a lot of cover for that. And we're going to turn left here and continue to see more of MOKA. That's golf course on your left. As far as the time, I think it's around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You can see how the sun, the angle is hitting everything. Any distance there, that big structure, that's Trinity College. Did you go to that school? Feel free to tell us about it in the comments area. I did stop to take some 5.3K footage of it, which you won't see in this video, but in another video. But nevertheless, you can see it pretty much Trinity College on your right there. The golf course is on the left, so if you did go to Trinity College, that would have given you a good view of the golf course. Not too sure I understand the construction efforts going on here. Looks like a lot of unfinished projects started, needs to be continued and just done with. You know, sometimes you see a lot of that in this country too. Somebody will start a major structure and just leave it hanging, and then it'll be like that for years, making it a real eyesore for the neighborhood. Again, this is another gated community, so I can only take you as far as here. The orchard at MOKA, can't go in there. It's also gated, so I need to just turn around here. Like I've said before, when I was younger, gated communities really did not exist. You could seemingly just go anywhere, no matter where it was. And as crime started to pick up, especially around the year 2000, just before that, everybody started to get the sense that, you know, we need to block off roads to prevent people from just moseying on in. There's a lot of birds here. In fact, back by the bamboo area by the golf course that I was talking about earlier, there were a lot, I mean a lot of parrots and a lot of other birds roosting. And I also stopped to take some footage there, which I will also show in another video, and it's really noisy. So in this time when they're coming in to get ready for the night, if you like to hear the songs of roosters and stuff, it's really nice to hear. I came out to take pictures of Trinity College, and those things that are walking around your screen are actually on my windshield. I think they are nuts because they're cutting grass somewhere around, so they're just all over. And if you're not familiar too much with Caribbean houses, people here do use a lot of walls, varying sizes and shapes. To cordon off and make a barrier. This particular road was really nice. Seemed like it was recently paved, or if not recently paved, just well maintained. And some people like the wall really high. Look at that wall. That is high. That's like a wall on top of a wall. You know, people just don't want to be seen. They want their privacy. And Trinis are known for something called makoing, which means they like to know your business, stare at you a lot. And it could be odd sometimes, so I can understand why people like the wall high. Personally though, although I like high walls, I wouldn't have it totally out of concrete. I would have, you know, blocks to a certain height, but then after that it would be some sort of gate or burglar proofing or whatever, so that at least I could see through and people can see through. Because really, if your wall is so high, what's going to happen is if something's happening to you on the inside, people outside will not be able to assist. For instance, if your house was breached, it was on fire, somebody was stealing, nobody really could tell because your wall is so high. And if there was some, fancy ironworks, metalworks, at least for some of the wall, and people could tell. That's just my basic opinion. I like this little turn here. These houses, they look really good. Like little generals on the side of a mountain. Not so little though, right? Those houses are huge. Sometimes I wonder when these people have these huge houses, how do they clean it? Must have like 2-3 people that have to come and clean these houses because they're so big. And it's nice when you have your own little green area right in front of your property. I'm not sure if that's meant to be a park or it's just an open area of land that is owned by somebody that hasn't been utilized as yet. Something I also like to is having property on a mountain or the side of a mountain or on a hill. It's for me a lot safer that way and more quiet, especially when it's away from a main road. You see like all these houses are? It's really quiet and nice. You don't have that element of people walking up and down, traffic, a parlor, people buying stuff. You want your home to be a place where it's private. Now, saying that, and by the way, that was an odd piece of land there, that open lot of land. Saying that, you may buy a expensive piece of land or buy an expensive house, hoping to get peace, and then your neighbor is noisy. So sometimes you can't always win, but you try. I'm fixing my mic. I get in a hum. I don't know if you guys are hearing a hum. Sometimes these things play up. Just like a little feedback. Hopefully it doesn't sound too loud on the video. So as I mentioned before, anytime I come across a road that's dead end, I just turn around, nothing else to see. I can't knock on somebody's house and say, hey, I want to see your house. JB's man cave wants to see where you live. Those mountains in the background there, that would be Paramin. And I have a video out for that if you haven't seen it, where I drive up there. That's quite a drive. And when I say quite a drive, there are some steep parts to it. It's like an adventure. This here is pretty much casual driving. Hardly anybody's on the road. I don't have to be changing gears, putting 4x4 or anything. But when you go Paramin, wow, that is truly an adventure. You have to use all the things I just mentioned. 4x4, changing gears, using your handbrake. And if you don't like heights much, saying a prayer too. Which do you prefer? Living on flat land, mountain? What's your preference? Tell me in the comments here of my YouTube channel. Make sure to tell me what you're answering though, right? So I can know. There's that hum again. Very irritating. I think I need to pull off the mic jack at some point and do some soldering. I feel something is not grounded off. I don't know if you think the same way, but I find things they make these days, I don't know, it's just kind of cheaply made. I remember when I was buying things younger, especially electronic stuff, and it would last for years and years and years. And now you buy something, it has all these gadgets and lights and stuff, but it doesn't last long. Within a few months, maybe a year, if you're good, and it's done. Right around here is where I heard the parrot, so we're gonna pull over to the left to hear them, and I'm gonna show you that in another video. So we're on our way out of MOKA. I'm not too sure if you know what the regulations are for using that green area, because I believe that's part of the golf course on your left there. There are some signs, and I know you may be tempted to come here and try it out, but believe you me, there are a lot of security guards, people driving by, and they may or will likely tell you something. So unless you're coming here strictly to play golf, or you've been invited by a resident and a resident is with you, don't attempt it. So ahead is where Hailand Park is, and we are exiting. So basically this road trip was Hailand Park and MOKA, and as you can see, I attempted to show you all of it, but some parts of it is gated with security and I can't enter. I just keep to the public access roads. So anywhere that's not public, I don't go on. If I were to turn left, that would take me to access points to either Santa Cruz, which is a valley in Trinidad, or Maracas Beach, both of which I have videos for. Now we are on Saddle Road, and now we are heading south into Marva. But this video is mainly about MOKA and Hailand Park. However, I will allow you to keep looking, and if you so wish, feel free to become a patron. You can always donate to my efforts for JB's Man Cave. You can visit on jbsmancave.com, jbmancave.com, or jboard.com, and there's a donate button. You can always feel free to donate if you like what I do. You know, donate to the work, to the effort. No obligation, of course. I appreciate you watching. Now I'm going to leave the commentary aside now, and if you wish to continue watching, I'm going to continue to allow you to see the rest of this saddle road all the way up to where I turn on to Long Circular Road. So if you would like to see it, you can keep watching. I'll play some relaxing, I guess some tropical music, so you can get some tunes as you watch, or if you don't like it, you can simply turn it down and play your own music in the background. But this will just be a drive through Marva. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe if you haven't, and share with your friends.